All right, looking forward to this matchup back in the division. This is a big opportunity for us this week. Our division is extremely tight right now, and we have an opportunity to make it even tighter if we can go play really good football. The focus this week will remain on the work that we need to get done on the practice field, in the meeting rooms. We have a lot that we need to accomplish and improve on. We get that. We all want the same results on Sunday, which is winning. Obviously, the Steelers are a really good football team, playing well, coming off a bye. They're first in the division for a reason. I mean, they have good players. They're a good team. There's a lot to learn by us in the season opener. It was a disappointing result, but we're going to have to go show how much we've improved since then. And again, it's a big ball game for us, and I think we get it. It's back, like I said, back in the division. We played this team already. We've played Baltimore. We get to see this team a second time, so here's another opportunity. Injury-wise, we've had a couple guys with some bumps and bruises that were able to practice, so we feel good about them. But again, we held out some guys. Amarius Randall, again, with his ankle, he was out today, but hopeful that he can make it back for the game. Gaines is still in concussion protocol. Higgins still has a knee. Schobert still has a hamstring. None of those guys practiced today. They're likely probably to be out this week. J.C. Treader ankle isn't able to go again at practice, but I still feel good about him being there by the end of the week, as he's shown this past week. So that's just kind of where we are injury-wise and how we're looking forward to this week.
Who do you think will not be able to play this week?
To me, the guys that I think probably won't make it is Higgins again. There's a good chance that Schobert probably won't make it neither. So those are the two guys right now in my mind. I'm sorry? And Gaines. Obviously, something would have to really happen fast for him to be there.
We're learning that the NFL is probably going to fine the Tampa Bay safety for the hit on Baker the other day. My question's about, should the NFL consider adopting the college targeting rule? Do you think that would have a greater impact than the new rule that they have now? If you had ejections and or suspensions, would be more of a deterrent?
Again, I don't want to get into much of that, but I will say this. I just think we have to officiate it the correct way. We just got to see it for what it is and make the call. And, I think the league and the officials want to get it right. So, to me, anything that's questionable that way, I just think you take a real good look at it. Let's not just move on from it, even if you have to review it. Let's make sure that those things are correct, as those calls are being made when it's something that's that vicious, that kind of hit, especially on a quarterback.
Is that the easiest solution, Hue? Just a big play like that gets reviewed by the guys in New York without somebody at the challenge even?
I just think, those particular things, you kind of see them, and everybody goes, woo, and I think everybody is saying, hey, look, let's make sure we get this right. So I think the league, as we move forward, have every right to, call down and say, let's look at this and make sure that we know for sure what the penalty should be.
Do you take any satisfaction whatsoever in hearing back from the league and having them say, yeah, we got that wrong?
It doesn't. I like that. I'm not going to, again, I can't say much about what I know that the league has said. I just know this. I like the dialogue that we've had. I like the conversations we've had. I like how we've been able to talk about certain things back and forth. Now, I think the most important thing for the league and for teams and for coaches, for everybody, we just want to get it right. Games are won and lost on these things. Jobs will be on the line because of these things, and I think that's important. We just want it to be right.
Is it fair to say, do you think, that most coaches don't want targeting? You don't want to lose your players?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think anybody. I think we all stand united that way, that we don't want to see anybody lose a player because some young man is targeted, and then all of a sudden he's out for a while.
You, as someone who has switched jobs within the division, does it give you any kind of advantage with Todd having been in Pittsburgh recently?
I know we all feel that way, but I think, obviously they're going to do some things differently. They have. And we will too. I'm sure they're looking, saying, hey, we know Todd as well. So I think, you play these games, it comes down to the players. We try to prepare them. We give them little pieces of things, little pieces of information that we can. But at the same time, between the white lines, man, it's just football. Let's go play ball, and the best team will win.
You have to show that you guys are better from week one. Looking at the Steelers, how are they better since week one?
Well, I think, again, the first time we played them, obviously the quarterback threw us quite a few balls. He's been very stingy since then, I think, obviously, they've gotten the ball to their playmakers. They've made a lot of plays. Their offense is one of the higher-ranked offenses in the National Football League. Defensively, they've made some huge plays to help win games. Obviously, I think, they've turned, their season around. These guys are first in the division, so they've gotten better, and they're playing good football.
You guys elevated Farrell Brown.
Yes.
From what do you like about him?
He's athletic, he's strong, he's tough. Is another long, big athlete that, we're going to see if we can fit him in somewhere, give him a chance. Again, we're steadily trying to improve our special teams, and we'll continue to do that. If he carves out a role on offense, then great. It means that he's doing better than some other guys. So we just got to continue to find ways to get these guys up there. But I like the guy a lot. He's done a really good job, and I think he deserves an opportunity.
How have you been more involved in the offense the last couple of days?
I've just been being me, just kind of looking at things and getting a real good feel for how we're doing things. Hey, we're moving in a great direction. I think we've done some really good things, getting better. Had some things we just got to continue to grind on the little things as we continue to move forward.
Did you have a greater input in the game plan being put together?
I've done everything I normally do, So I think, again, I have total confidence in Todd and what the staff is doing. Again, I think in those situations for me, like I said after the game, fuming like I was after losing, I had a chance to sit back and see it all. But again, I just wanted to make sure as an offense that we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's and making sure that everything is moving in the right direction. If there's any way that I can help, I'll assist, whether it's Todd, Greg, or Amos, any way that I can. That's my role. That's my job. So that's what I've done.
First half, you guys have scored 40 points, but in the second half, you've been much more productive, 111. What's been the common denominator, and how do you get that second half production that you've gotten to happen earlier in the game?
I think that's one of our goals. We know we need to turn that around. That's one of the things I think we're all looking at very closely on how we can get started much faster, and try to take that mentality that we have in the second half and put it in the first half, whatever that is. Because if we can, we feel like we'll be, knocking on a lot of doors that gives us a chance to win. So I think that's the challenge. I think that's what we're trying to accomplish, what we're trying to figure out as we continue to move forward. I think our players understand that too. We got to play better in the first half of games that way, so that gives us a chance in the second half to really hopefully run away with some games, if we can continue to do what we've done in the second half.
Duke need more touches?
I think Duke, obviously is one of our better players, has had a heck of a career here. He has the opportunity to make plays, and trust me, we're always trying to find different ways and different avenues to get him the ball. Sometimes, you call his number and maybe he doesn't get it, and sometimes he does. I just think as you said, we just got to continue to find ways and look at different options for him, because he is one of the better playmakers on our team.
No, because you can't run in between the tackles and things like that.
I think, that's part of it, and I think, again, we just got to continue to look at, sometimes it's how other teams are looking at you and how they see you when he's in the game. And I think people know when he's in the game, he's in there for a reason. He's not in there for nothing. So I think part strategy, part creativity, I think all of it needs to come into play to keep finding ways for him.
Does the high trade just kind of free up Chubb to get more carries, or is it that way for Duke as well?
No, I think it's that way for both of them. I don't think we're saying what it did. Carlos isn't here, and obviously Chubb carried the ball 18 times, if I'm not mistaken, in the last game. So he carried it more than anything, and Duke had some targets, had a couple of rushes. But again, I think these guys, before this season's out, you're going to hear from them both. I think they both going to have to contribute to our football team, our offensive football team being good.
How valuable has Demarius been in his versatility in the secondary? Played him a lot at corner last week, and then the fact that you guys have been able to hold up while losing two starters already.
He's been outstanding to me. I mean, that was one of the great finds for a football team. Not only did he play safety and played extremely well, you said it, guy went out there and played corner last week, for the first time, for us this year. And he got it done. I mean, he competed and played extremely well, in my opinion. It's really, really good to have a guy with his versatility, because there's a lot of different things you can do with Demarius.
Team you play in the corner?
We'll do, what we feel we need to do based on matchups, based on who we're playing. Obviously he didn't practice today, so we'll continue to monitor that and see what role he'll play this week for us.
You had, everyone's talking about starting early, but when you get into overtime, it seems the offense hits a brick wall too. Do you see, is it too much to ask Baker to be the guy that has the ball last to drive you down to like he did in the Jets game?
Yeah, no, it's not too much. I think, you said it. I mean, whether it's to start or overtime, we got to find ways to make those plays. That's something we got to continue to work out too, and that we've looked at extremely hard. Because that's a chance to close out the game. And I think we get it. Start faster, finish stronger. It's kind of our mentality right now. It's what we're working through.
See one more about Farrell Brown. You got 5 tight ends, isn't it?
No, we have 4 tight ends. You guys see Orson Charles as a tight end. I don't. He's a fullback. Okay, here we go. Moving on.
You guys have 3 games against playoff contenders. I think all 3 were playoff teams last year going into the bye. What's the kind of the context you look at this in?
Well, this is the last game in the second quarter of the season. We got a chance to have an even record if we can go down and win this game this week at 2-2 in the second quarter before we head to the third quarter, and that's all our guys talk about. We don't go beyond that. As I told you guys, we break this thing up into 4 quarters. We're in the second quarter right now, and the next game happens to be Pittsburgh, and that's all we're focused on.
Chris Smith, what's going on with Chris Smith?
I'm sorry?
Chris Smith?
Oh, it's personal. Chris will be fine. There's nothing wrong with him. He'll be back. He'll be back. Yes, he will.
How do you balance the decision to send help over to an elite pass rusher like TJ Watt versus if you do that, maybe leaving some vulnerabilities behind?
I mean, it's a chess match a little bit. Obviously, last time we played him, he had a tremendous game, a really good game. So obviously, we know that's something that we got to get squared away. But as you mentioned, there's Hayward, there's Tuitt, there's Dupree. I mean, they have a lot of guys that know how to rush the passer. They're one of the fastest pass rush teams in all of pro football. So we get that. So it's a challenge. But again, we got to do a better job than we did the first time we played him.
What's the teaching point with Baker then regarding the scramble and getting down?
As far as that particular play, I thought he played it well. I thought he ran and got as much as he can and started to slide, and he got hit, and that's unfortunate. I mean, there's got to be protection for him there, and that's what we all felt and thought. So we got to continue to work through that.